So in today's video, what we're going to do is do a few charging tests to see how long it takes to charge an EV from 0 to 100%, from 10 to 90%, and 20 to 80%. Now, people who have EVs don't really find this kind of video interesting, but those who don't are always skeptical about how long it takes for an EV to charge fully, although it's something that you'll never actually really do, because most of the time you're going to charge to about 80%, then get on with your journey. And the last 20% of a battery always takes longer to charge than the first 80%. Now, what we'll also cover is the cost of this at a public charger. Now, it varies from public charger to charger, but what we're going to do, we're going to use a Tesla supercharger and compare the prices, and then compare it to what it will cost you at home. And the difference is quite shocking, as in how much it costs to charge in public and how much it will charge and how much it will cost to charge at home. And even if you're at home, charging rates vary depending whether you're charging the day or in the evening. So, first thing to do is to reduce the battery level of our car down to 0, and then we'll take the test from there. The car we're going to use is this one here. It's a Tesla Model 3 long range, 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, and this has a capacity of 75 kilowatt hours. But this car is 5.5 years old now, so I think the battery capacity has reduced to about 68 or 69 kilowatt hours. And so this is the car that we'll be using. First thing to do is obviously reduce the power consumption. The first thing to do is to reduce the range to 0, as in completely deplete the battery. So the battery range at the moment is 32%, which is 10%, which suggests this has a full range of around 320 miles, but although I think it is actually lower than that. But we'll find out what the range of the vehicle is when it's 100%. We'll find out at the end of the video. But the first thing is we have to get rid of this 10%, but I think by the time we get to our charging station, that will have gone down quite considerably as well. Right, so we've reached our supercharger now. We've depleted the car battery down to 0% and 0 miles. It's a dangerous thing to do, but it's not as dangerous as you may think, because after the car shows 0 miles, there is a small buffer, but personally I wouldn't recommend you do this. Now, what we're going to do here now is check the charging speeds and also the charging time, and sorry, not the charging speed, the charging rate and the charging time, and we'll do that every 10% up to 100%, and we'll see how long a full charge takes. So here we are, it's showing 0 miles and 0%, and we are here at Edinburgh Tesla, or Tesla Edinburgh, at New Bridge in Edinburgh. 14 stalls here, so there's plenty vacant today, and so let's get out and charge. Now, but the most important thing is the time. The time is now 8:16. By the time I get started, it'll probably be 8:17, and so we'll use that as a benchmark, and we'll start our charging momentarily. Right, just started charging. It's just literally turned 2017 as I put the camera on. So 2017, we've got that set to 100%, and the charge rate, I'm sure this shows the charge rate here somewhere. There we are. The charge rate is 198 kilowatts. So that should actually go up to 250 in theory, since these are V4 chargers here, sorry, V3 chargers here. So we'll see if that actually raises or not, but we started at 8:17, and we'll see how long it takes us to do this full charge. So in terms of how much this is going to cost, because we're so late in the evening, the rate of charge depends on the time of day, or rather the cost depends on the time of day. At the moment we've been charged 39 pence a kilowatt hour. If that were earlier on, it would be 44 pence a kilowatt hour, but we just passed a BP service station, which I'll show you shortly, and they're charging 79 pence a kilowatt hour. So even if you don't have a Tesla, these Tesla service stations are considerably cheaper than everybody else. Right, it's been exactly 5 minutes since we started charging, and we've gained 56 miles in 5 minutes. The charge rate has dropped to 148 kilowatts, and that is 19%. So wait till I get to 20% and I'll see how long that took. So we're at 20%, and that's taken us 5.5 minutes to get to 20%. So I think the charge rate is obviously decreasing as time goes on. We never did quite reach that 250 rate, but as I said, maybe perhaps that was other factors such as the battery was perhaps too cold. I really don't know. But we're at 20% at 5 minutes, and that's equivalent to, well, it was 56 miles, but gone up another 10 miles. So the next time we'll visit will probably be once we get to about 80%, and we'll see how long that's taken us. So as I was saying earlier, there is always an alternative, and this is just a stone's throw away from the Tesla supercharger, MFG Motor Fuels Group, and they have these 150 kilowatt chargers, but they are charging 79 pence a kilowatt hour. So there is an alternative, but often it's a very much more expensive alternative, but it is still there. And these chargers have CCS as well as I think it's CHAdeMO. I think. Let's just have a quick look, see what kind of plugs these guys have. Yeah, they have the old CHAdeMO, which no one really uses apart from Nissan Leaf drivers, and of course the standard CCS, which is the same throughout the whole of the UK and Europe. So there's more and more of these stations out and about, and there's no real shortage of chargers. And as I said earlier on, I mean, you're only really using a charger if you're traveling a longer distance. Most people charge at home, because as far as I'm aware, in the UK most people travel not more than 40 miles per day, so obviously well within the range of any EV. Right, I'm back after our short walk, and after 10 minutes this car had charged 120 miles. After 20 minutes we were up to 180 miles, and so far, but what's happened is that the charge rate has significantly dropped now. Now we're at 71 kilowatts, and as you can see, it's approximately 25 minutes now, and we've charged up to 68%. So in 25 minutes we have put on 212 miles. So electric cars nowadays are not what they were 10 years ago. The technology has significantly improved, and in 25 minutes, if you can put on over 200 miles, or in 10 minutes or in 20 minutes you put on 180 miles, and in 10 minutes you put on 120 miles, that is more than what most people find acceptable, I think. And superchargers are not something that you're going to use every day. Well, it depends on your lifestyle, obviously, but for most people, superchargers are an exceptional use, not an everyday use. Right, we just missed our marker there, 71%, and the time now is 8:44. So that means we've been charging for 27 minutes. And in 27 minutes we've gone from 0 to 70% or 71%. Next we'll wait till 80% and we'll see how long that's taken altogether. So 2 more markers to go. I said I wouldn't call back until 80%, but it's been exactly half an hour now since we started charging, and we're at 75%, which is 234 miles in 30 minutes in this car. So not particularly, not the fastest, but obviously not that slow either. So the next time I'll check in is at 80%, and then after that, once it's fully charged, at 100. Okay, so it's taken us 34 minutes to get to 80%, and it says another 25 minutes to 100%. So obviously, if you're at a supercharger, you don't really want to go above 80%, because to fill that other 20% is going to take you considerably longer. So the charge rate has dropped to 48 kilowatts, and we have taken on board 56 kilowatt hours so far. This battery was a 75 kilowatt initially, but I think it's lost about 10%. So as I said, we're not going to get that 75 kilowatt hour full charge. And plus, even when the battery says it's at zero, there's still a significant amount of charge left on it. And how much that is, I really don't know. It's difficult to say. Maybe 1 or 2 kilowatt hours. But the next marker will be when the car reaches 100%. That's going to be in 25 minutes. Well, according to this, but we'll see how true that is. So it's 8:52 at the moment, and so hopefully we'll see in about 25 minutes, or when the car reaches 100%, and we'll have a quick chat then. So there we are. We finally completed the charge. Charge complete at 9:24. That's an hour and 7 minutes is taken to get from 0 to 100%, and 100% on this car is 313 miles. Now, there's been questionable battery degradation, because according to the test that we carried out, this car has degraded by 9%. But when this car was marketed new, it had a battery range of 322 miles. So to say that it's only 313 now after 43,000 miles, I'm not sure which one to believe. But in terms of cost, to charge up 73 kilowatts, 73 kilowatt hours, it's cost £28.64 at 39 pence a kilowatt hour. If that were at home, that would cost you considerably less. In fact, I'll tell you on the screen at the bottom how much it would cost on an overnight charge or on a peak charge as well. So that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.